Going to jail must be one of the worst feelings in life, right? Well, not always. Around the world, there are prisons that are more like luxury resorts, where inmates have access to amenities that leave many people speechless. Today, BeLlo Mundo is going to take you to see some of them, where the cells have heated floors, flat-screen TVs, gourmet food, and even a cleaning service. Number 11. Federal Prison Camp, United States. To start our list, take a look at this image that's appearing on your screen. It looks like a school building, a library, or maybe a community center, doesn't it? But believe us, this is the Alderson Federal Prison Camp, located in West Virginia. Founded in 1927 as the Federal Reformatory for Women, this was the first federal prison designed exclusively for women in the United States. And unlike the typical image of federal prisons that we know, this one has a much lighter concept. There are no armed guards or barbed wire fences. To give you an idea, the main gate is always open. Most of the inmates are serving time for non-violent crimes, such as tax fraud and embezzlement, the famous white-collar crimes. And the environment reflects this profile. The inmates have access to a range of facilities, including GED classes, a program that is equivalent to a high school diploma in the United States. In addition, there are university courses and vocational training in areas such as horticulture and culinary arts. And when it comes to leisure, Alderson also surprises. Swimming pool, volleyball, basketball, tennis, talent shows, and even game shows are part of the routine. Not bad for someone who needs to reflect on his mistakes, right? Among the famous names who have been there is Martha Stewart, the businesswoman and presenter who became known for serving time at Alderson after being convicted of insider trading. Definitely a place that redefines the idea of life behind bars. Number 10. Otago Prison, New Zealand. Take a good look at this image. Natural light coming in through the windows, an organized space, and even a television. Are you going to say that the cell above doesn't look more like a teenager's bedroom? In fact, considering the world's population as a whole and the level of poverty in the world, many young people will never have the opportunity to sleep in a comfortable place like this. You only have to look at this image on your screen to see the contrast. This is the typical bedroom of many children and teenagers around the globe, and especially in Africa. This particular one in Senegal. Known as the Milton Hilton, a play on the name of the luxurious Hilton hotels, the Otago prison, located in the Milton area of New Zealand, earned its nickname thanks to the impressive comfort it offers its inmates. Here, cells with underfloor heating, flat-screen TVs, and rooms with private bathrooms are part of the structure, making it more like a hotel than an ordinary penitentiary. Just as we saw in the American Federal Women's Prison, Otago also prioritizes the health and well-being of its inmates. Here, inmates have access to training in areas such as engineering, agriculture, and cooking, with the aim of facilitating their social reintegration. But the difference goes further. The unit has a sensory garden where inmates can move around and relax, even though the grass is artificial. It's a touch of nature in an environment that would normally be marked by concrete and bars. And speaking of bars, the cells here have also been designed to offer more comfort and less oppression. The external windows let in natural light, and even the bars were designed to be different. In the vast majority of prisons, the bars are vertical, but not here. The horizontal bars replace the traditional vertical pattern, creating a lighter and more welcoming look for the inmates. In addition, inmates have access to free-to-air television channels and 2 in-house channels showing documentaries and even yoga classes. With all this structure, it's not hard to see why Otago is called the Milton Hilton. Number 9. Champ-Dollon, Switzerland. We've reached our 9th position, and this time we've landed in Switzerland, the country of impeccable quality of life and tranquility. And, as you'd expect, even the prisons there follow this high standard. Champ-Dollon, for example, is a penitentiary that could easily be compared to a 3-star hotel. Inaugurated in 1977, the prison was designed to house 270 inmates, but over the years it has faced serious overcrowding problems. At one point, it housed more than 450 prisoners at a time, earning it a reputation as one of the most crowded prisons in Europe. The situation was so critical that there was no shortage of complaints and criticism of the place. It wasn't until the year 2008 that the Swiss government decided to really tackle the problem, investing around $40 million in building a new wing and completely renovating the facilities. And the result was surprising. Today, the cells are spacious, accommodate up to 3 inmates, and to top it off, have private bathrooms. But what really sets Champ-Dollon apart are the leisure and social areas. The prison has a weight room, basketball court, library, and even an outdoor space for inmates to exercise, all with the aim of promoting the physical and mental health of prisoners and contributing to their rehabilitation. Who would have thought that a prison could have the feel of a Swiss hotel, right? Impressive. Number 8. Berwyn Prison, United Kingdom. Now we're off to Wales in the UK to visit HMP Berwyn, a prison that redefines the concept of how a prison system can work. Opened in 2017, Berwyn was designed with a very clear purpose: to prioritize the respect and dignity of inmates, creating a modern and more humane environment. Here the term cell has been replaced by room, and no wonder. Each room accommodates up to 2 people and comes equipped with a laptop, without internet access of course, a telephone, shower and toilet. No bars, or that oppressive look we usually imagine. The laptop, by the way, is a practical tool. It can be used to schedule visits, order meals for the week, go shopping, and even do educational work. And speaking of education, this is one of Berwyn's strong points. The prison offers a range of courses and vocational training to help inmates develop skills and be ready for the job market when they leave. To top it off, the complex also has a fully equipped gym and a cozy recreation space so that inmates can spend time with their families, especially the children, during visits. Number 7. JVA Fuhlsbuettel, Germany. It sounds like a joke, but it's true. Germany is home to some of the most impressive and humanitarian prisons in the world, and the JVA Fuhlsbuettel, or Santa Fu, is a striking example. Completely restored, this prison prioritizes the well-being and dignity of its inmates, offering an environment that is more like a castle than a jail. Here, the cells are called rooms, and rightly so. No concrete slabs or uncomfortable steel beds. The prisoners have proper beds, large bathrooms, and even living rooms. Privacy is also taken seriously. Prison officers knock before entering. In addition, everyone can decorate their space as they wish, wear their own clothes, and even cook their own meals. And yes, they are paid for their work, with a compulsory part going into savings to help them when they are released. And the most curious thing, many prisoners have knives and forks in their rooms, something unthinkable elsewhere in the world. Another surprising detail is the security policy. There are very few cameras, and the maximum time someone can spend in solitary confinement is just 8 hours. Even with so many freedoms, violence in German prisons is practically non-existent. And here's a detail that only Germany offers. Trying to escape from prison is not considered a crime. This is because, according to the Constitution, everyone has the right to seek freedom. But let's face it, With an environment like that, who would really think of escaping? Number 6. Sollentuna Prison, Sweden. When it comes to quality of life, even behind bars, Sweden doesn't disappoint. Sollentuna Prison, which opened in April 2011, is a clear example of how the country takes the idea of rehabilitation with dignity seriously. With a capacity for 240 inmates, this place is more like a community center than a jail. The inmates have access to facilities that surprise many. We're talking about rooms with private bathrooms, a full kitchen, a weight room, and even living rooms with sofas and televisions. And believe me, they don't even have to clean the place where they live. 175 staff are in charge of cooking, cleaning, and looking after the inmates' health. It's practically a hotel life, or as some would say, a king's life. Number 5. Litla-Hraun, Iceland. We've reached top 5 comfort, and our next stop is in icy Iceland, more precisely at Litla-Hraun prison. But before we talk about this prison, let me tell you a story that helps you understand the impressive quality of the place. The protagonist is Josmani Ramos, a Brazilian former plastic surgeon who was imprisoned in Iceland in 2010, accused of theft, smuggling, and other crimes. So far, nothing out of the ordinary. But what was striking was his reaction when the Brazilian courts tried to extradite him. He simply didn't want to go back. The reason? According to Josmani himself, he was in a real luxury hotel disguised as a prison. And he wasn't exaggerating. Litla-Hraun only houses around 80 inmates and offers a surprisingly good infrastructure. 70% of the guards are women, the food is restaurant-worthy, and the inmates even receive a stipend, around $150 a month, to buy items such as chocolates and cigarettes. What's more, there's a luxury weight room, a playground, and a school where they can learn computers and even the local language. Not bad, right? But it seems that all this structure doesn't please the inmates very much. One of the most striking facts was that the inmates recently went on strike and organized protests calling for improvements. That's right, inmates protesting. Among the demands were higher wages for work done in prison and adjustments to the food allowance. According to them, the money is not enough, as many use it to buy Christmas presents for their children, pay for fuel for family visits, and even prepare small snacks to make the day of visits more special. It's all the same, isn't it? Tell us what you think of these protesting prisoners in the comments. Number 4. Leoben Justice Center, Austria. If architectural beauty and, of course, nonviolent crime is your thing, the Leoben Justice Center in Austria seems tailor-made. This prison is so impressive that it looks like a work of modern art. Here, even the most skeptical would be stunned by the structure. The facility is exclusively for inmates who have committed nonviolent crimes, and the treatment reflects this approach. The rooms are individual, equipped with private bathrooms and even a small kitchen. In many spaces, the security bars simply don't exist, and not because they forgot to put them up, but because the focus is on creating an environment that preserves human dignity. When it comes to leisure, the Leoben Justice Center doesn't disappoint either. Inmates can play basketball and soccer, work out in the weight room, or even enjoy a game of ping pong outdoors. It's practically a sports club. But it's not just the structure that sets it apart. Right on the walls it says, "All persons deprived of their liberty must be treated with humanity and respect for the inherent dignity of the human being." This phrase sums up the purpose of the facility, which goes far beyond punishment, focusing on rehabilitation and respect. What's more, the Leoben Justice Center houses a court on its premises, which explains the name Justice in the title. With such an advanced concept, you can understand why this prison is one of the highlights of our list. Number 3. Aranjuez, Spain. Taking bronze in our top 3 is Aranjuez prison in Spain, which stands out not only for its comfort, but also for its unique and, for many, controversial philosophy. While most prisons completely separate inmates from their families, here it's just the opposite. Entire families can live together. The idea is simple. Allow parents and children up to the age of 3 to stay together while the children are still too young to understand the reality of a prison. And for this, the environment is designed especially for them. The cells are decorated with Disney characters, come equipped with cribs, and have direct access to a playground. In addition, there is a school and spaces with children's decor, all to create an environment where the children feel safer and less affected by their parents' situation. Of course, this solution is not ideal for anyone, as the families themselves and the psychologists on site admit. However, the idea is that keeping the family together can be positive for both the prisoners and the children, reducing trauma and strengthening family ties. Number 2. Halden Prison, Norway. Taking the silver medal is Halden Prison in Norway, a prison so impressive that it could easily take first place. Located in the southwest of the country, in the town of Halden, this maximum security unit completely redefines the idea of what it means to do time. Opened in 2010, Halden houses around 250 prisoners. But when you enter, you might wonder if you're really in a prison. Inside, there are green areas, living spaces, and a philosophy that encourages inmates to spend as much time as possible outside their rooms. And speaking of the rooms, or rather suites, each one is equipped with a minibar, flat-screen TV, and private bathroom. There are no bars on the windows. Instead, the idea is to create a less oppressive environment, contributing to rehabilitation. The prisoners share kitchens and living rooms. These spaces have televisions, comfortable armchairs, and even libraries. And if community life already sounds welcoming, wait until you hear about the leisure options. The prison has a gym with a climbing wall, a basketball court, a jogging track, a soccer field, and even a music studio with professional recording equipment. Relations between prisoners and guards are also surprising. Half of the prison guards are women, which, according to the government, encourages good behavior. Guards and inmates live together peacefully, have lunch together, play sports, and even lead sports activities from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. In addition, the inmates take part in drawing classes, cooking classes, and other activities that help them prepare for social reintegration. Number 1. Bastoy Prison, Norway. Also in Norway, the gold medal goes to the impressive Bastoy Prison. Located on an island in the south of the country, this prison, founded in 1982, is not only one of the most luxurious in the world, it's also one of the most daring in terms of philosophy. Here, around 115 inmates, including criminals convicted of murder, live in conditions that are more like a retreat than a prison. There are no fences, armed guards, or even locked doors. The inmates themselves have the keys to all the locks. That's right, you didn't hear wrong. And what do they have at their disposal? Beaches for sunbathing and fishing, horses to ride, a sauna to relax in, and even tennis courts to exercise on. And take a look at the way they sunbathe. Yes, that relaxed person is an inmate. Many live in small wooden huts painted red, equipped with television, books, and computers. Others stay in a large lodge called the Big House, a white mansion on top of a hill that resembles a college dormitory. Even at dinner, life here is different. The menu includes fish, salmon, prawns, and chicken. and it's all part of a self-sustaining village. The island has cows, chickens, crops, and pastures, and the inmates work to earn a living, looking after the animals or the woods. They are paid for their work, around $20 a day, and can spend it in local stores or keep the money. The routine is organized and productive, with work from 8:30 in the morning until 8:30 at night, but always without guards watching closely. And you know what's funny? Escape would be very easy. The boats are unguarded, and the strip of water separating the island from the mainland is not long, but hardly anyone tries. Why is that? Simple. Anyone who escapes has their sentence increased and is transferred to a maximum security prison. And, let's face it, who would be crazy enough to risk something like that? But what about you? What do you think of these prisons? Have you heard of any? Tell us in the comments which one surprised you the most. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friends so that they too can discover this and other incredible curiosities about our BeLlo Mundo. To those of you who have watched us so far, thank you very much, and we'll see you on our next adventure.